Hello, beautiful people. I am here to talk to you about navigating the digestive game. I want to encourage you to take this time for yourself to quiet your distractions and then ask yourself, are you regularly struggling with any sort of digestive problem? Do you know that many of your symptoms are related to the inability to absorb nutrients, but maybe you don't know what to do about it? Do you have anxiety around eating, especially knowing you might need to find a bathroom right away? It happens. You find yourself struggling with irregularity and your doctor hasn't talked to you about any natural options. You know there's hope, but you need somebody to give it to you. You're in the right place. I'm glad you're here. And I know you'll leave feeling educated and empowered. Let me introduce myself. My name is Donna Hall. I am a teacher. I have been married to my precious husband for 37 years. These are some of my students up in the top corner there, former students. And we have 4 grown kids. That's our kiddos. And we have 4 grandkids as well. My health journey began when I was 9 years old and I was diagnosed with a congenital heart defect. They did surgery, and during the surgery, they gave me a blood transfusion, and the beginning of a whole myriad of problems started. That was then. Life happened. I grew up, got married, had twins, had 4 kids in 4 years, homeschooled them all start to finish. Yeah, life. And I was always tired, always tired. And I always had digestive problems. I've had digestive problems since I can remember. But then I realized I am not what happened to me. I'm what I choose to become. And I was able to realize that because I started to find solutions for the issues that I was having and started to feel better. So I want that for you today. What we'll learn today is 2 simple steps to improve your digestive system naturally, the top signs of certain specific issues that happen often to compromise our digestive system, protocols, detoxification blends, top recommendations, lots of good stuff coming your way. But first, let me tell you, this information is for educational purposes only. I am not an MD. I am not giving you medical advice. You must consult with your medical doctor regarding starting or stopping your prescription medication. This information is not a substitute for the professional care of your physician. This is my story and what I've learned and the things that I want to be able to share with you. All right, so we're here to increase the health of our digestive system. I'm going to talk a lot about a lot of different stuff here. And so be sure to push pause if you need to stop to write things down. So here's step 1. This is very, very important. If you are having digestive issues, I want you to increase your stomach's acidity. Now, does anybody know, do you know on a pH scale what the ideal acidity of your gut is? Now, a pH scale goes from 0 to 14. 0 is pure acid and 14 is pure alkaline. 7 is right in the middle. Any ideas? Any guesses? You do not ideally want your gut to be higher than a 3 because it would mean it's not acidic enough. I know that's something that you don't hear very often, is it? Most people say, oh, I've got low acid or whatever. It's like, or I mean, high acid. I need to take these antacids and all the things, right? That's not the case. A lot of times, most of the time, more often than you'd think, it's that we don't have enough acid. So those of you who said 7, you're on the right path. You want balance, but your stomach needs to be much more acidic than that. In an ideal situation, you want your stomach to be 3 or less. It needs to be super, super acidic. The reason for this is because your stomach loves acid, and it needs acid to digest the foods, to kill pathogens, to eliminate parasites, and to absorb nutrients. Those are 4 huge reasons to keep your stomach acid pH at 3, where it's supposed to be. This acid level is the foundation of a healthy digestion. So let's talk about this. Many of you are probably asking in your head, well, how would I know if my stomach acid is low? Well, here are a few ideas of what you might experience if your stomach acid is low. That first one is probably the most prevalent sign of low stomach acid. But I bet a few of these other ones surprised you. And I'd be willing to guess that those last 4 surprised you the most. Here's the way it works in the stomach. If your stomach acid isn't acidic enough, you are going to have a science experiment happening in there. Tell me, have you ever fermented pickles? Have you ever fermented any vegetables? If you've ever done anything like that, where you put it on the countertop and you put it in a veggie jar or whatever, and you ferment it, if you've seen bubbles coming up as it's fermenting, that's exactly what's happening because those gases are being released, which causes fermentation. That's what happens in your gut. When there's not enough acid inside your stomach, your food gets putrefied inside of you. It sounds kind of gross, but that's really what's happening. They're fermenting and rotting in your gut. And then what happens is gases are released and you'll experience bloating, belching, and other kinds of gases. But also, those gases have to hide somewhere. God created our bodies with such intelligence that it's preventing this process from destroying ourselves on the inside. So instead of causing a major problem there, those gases go and hide in your joints. And this causes pain, like fibromyalgia. So if someone comes to me telling me they have fibromyalgia, the very first thing I want to do is correct their digestion. And crazily enough, they begin to get better from it. Okay, let's talk briefly about some of the bone problems that were on that list. So your gut has to be acidic at the 3 pH level to absorb minerals and to absorb protein too. So if your gut isn't acidic enough, maybe because you've been taking medications or you're on Tums all the time, doing by taking them is that you're creating an alkaline environment in your gut. Then you're not absorbing minerals like iron. You're not absorbing proteins. So your bones start to degenerate. And this can become very dangerous, right? Hopefully, this is giving you a better idea of how it's all connected and how proper digestion is so important. I know we went a little deep on that, but it's important to understand this so that when digestion isn't working properly, you know that you're not absorbing your nutrients properly either. That weight gain can happen because you're more hungry more often. But also, we just talked about improper digestion can also lead to muscle and joint pain, which then minimizes your ability to work out because you just don't feel good. And that's also where weight gain can come into play or muscle loss. So, can you see how this is all really interconnected? I know many of you are probably thinking, well, what do we do? Well, Terrazyme is a great place to start. This is a digestive enzyme that helps our bodies to start increasing the acidity. Your gut needs acidity. Terrazyme is a digestive enzyme that you would take with your meals to increase that acidity. It's incredibly powerful. In fact, I don't know how many of you swear by Terrazyme, but I sure do. I take it every day and I've experienced so many benefits. It's one of those supplements that people say, I don't know how people live without it. It's a really, really powerful supplement that is the foundation of helping to correct digestion and absorption. It has a whole food enzymes and supporting cofactors to help provide the deficient natural nutritional components that are vital for our healthy digestion. It's also a big, big piece of what many of us are missing in our diet. This is the Digestion blend in a bottle and in the soft gel form, and it is a lifesaver. I don't leave home without it, especially if I'm traveling. It's a proprietary blend of oils designed specifically for aiding in the digestion of foods and helping to balance the pH in your gut. You may have experienced digestion and you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know it helps with bloating and stomach. Whenever I eat something that gives me a little bit of gas because it didn't agree with me, I swear in less than a minute after I put the Digestion on my belly, it's gone. Seriously, this stuff is powerful. All right, another solution to help bring balance to your gut and to assist in digestion overall, and also to help with detoxing, is drinking lemon essential oil in your water. Doing this is so incredibly effective at overall immune support and digestion support. And I also recommend it for any kind of systemic detoxing that you're doing. You'll add 2 drops to every 12 ounce glass of water that you drink during the day to help you with digestion. And here's the thing, it won't harm your tooth enamel like lemon juice can do. It won't cause digestive upset like lemon juice can do. Sometimes people are sensitive to that. So you can switch to lemon oil without a problem. Now, only use doTERRA's. I learned enough about the processes that other companies get from how they get their oils. You don't want to be taking any other essential oil brand internally. Just trust me on that one. All right, how do you increase acidity? This is a summary of what all the things that we just went over. Excellent solution to increasing your acidity, doing these things. All right, now what about the liver and gallbladder? What does that look like? And what do they actually have to do with digestion? You might be thinking, I thought I was coming to a digestive health class. What does liver and gallbladder have to do with it? Well, you're going to learn about these because they're actually incredibly essential for digestion and absorption. We're talking about gallbladder and liver support because they have everything to do with absorbing fat. When these two organs aren't supported, you're not going to be able to benefit from all the amazing benefits and roles that fat plays in your health. For those of you who are unfamiliar with this concept, the gallbladder and the liver live right next to each other on purpose. Your gallbladder's job is to release bile whenever you eat fat. Bile is what we use to pick up the fat and send it where it needs to go in the body. Now, about your liver makes bile too, and that bile leaves the liver via that common bile duct right there in the middle. The gallbladder's job is to secrete that bile whenever you eat the fat. Then the bile's job is to take the fat to the cells wherever it's needed, like to the heart, because your heart is dependent on fat for its basic that. Also, your small intestine and stomach use the bile to eliminate toxins and waste. This is essential for our digestion and our overall health. How many of you experienced constipation or the opposite, diarrhea? It could have a lot to do with your fat digestion and the fact that your liver and gallbladder are digested. This is really, really important to understand. So you might be wondering, well, how do I know if I have poor fat digestion? Well, for sure, if you don't have a gallbladder, you have poor fat digestion. I personally think that that is one of the worst surgeries that conventional medicine does, removing organs like your gallbladder. I absolutely do recognize that some people are in a crucial death situation and they needed it out right away. I get it. But I wish that we would do it a little differently. What if our doctors were trained differently? Like, gosh, you're having a lot of stones, or you're having all this pain, or you're having terrible gallbladder issues. Let's figure this out. Let's address the root cause. Well, obviously, that doesn't really happen in conventional medicine. Instead, if we can't repair it, we burn it, we remove it, and now you're left without an organ that was really essential in fat digestion. So here's the good news. If you are one of those people who don't have a gallbladder, there are still ways that you can support your body and your digestion. Write this down. Pause the video if you need to. If you don't have a gallbladder, you absolutely need to be on bile salts. Work with a naturopathic doctor who can help you. Or there's a company called Biotics that makes them. Biotics, bile salts. If you can find a health practitioner to work with, they can help you get the bile salts you need. And that's going to be really, really helpful for you. All right, back to the question. How do you know if you have poor fat digestion? There are some other indications on the slide. These are all signs of poor digestion. And I believe that this is a huge reason that we've seen this increase in infertility lately and such a decrease in libido because fat is so essential for our sex hormones. Fat is also essential for our skin and really, really important for your muscles, for lubricating the muscles and joints and so much more. When your cholesterol levels are high, there's inflammation in the body. We need something that will act like an anti-inflammatory. And believe it or not, healthy fats in our diet can act that way in the body. All right, fatty acid deficiency. Isn't that a lovely slide? I'll tell you what that is. Fatty acid deficiency is unfortunately an epidemic these days. It's everywhere. What happens is when the liver is not properly supported and you're not doing a regular detox, it makes your liver congested. Congested liver makes a very poor quality of bile. This picture is not at all what bile should look like. Instead, it should be a very viscous, oily, yellowish liquid that's released easily from a small little opening in your gallbladder. What's interesting is when you're not supporting detoxification of your liver and your gallbladder, that bile ends up looking and acting like tar. So the gallbladder gets totally congested with this tar-like substance that's supposed to be secreted, but it can't because it's way too thick. That's when we start to see gallstones happen. That's when we start to have major gallbladder problems. You can see how this kind of cycle starts and why detoxification is so essential. I know this is a talk on digestion, but a healthy liver and gallbladder are very essential to healthy digestion. They go hand in hand. All right. Here's my favorite detoxification blend. I actually have this in a roller bottle and I put it on my bedstand at night and I roll it on me every night and when I wake up in the morning as well. I recommend it to people all the time. It should be used every single day, especially if anything I've mentioned so far relates to you. What I suggest is making this blend with 15 drops of each of these 4 oils in a 10 milliliter roller bottle, topping it off with fractionated coconut oil, and then applying it to your liver and gallbladder. Now, where's your liver? Maybe you don't know. It's okay. Your liver is on the right side of your body. If you take your hand right now and find the area where your ribs separate, then follow the edge of your rib on the right side and put your hand just flat over that area. You are covering where your liver is. It's kind of tucked underneath your rib cage there. If you're in doubt, you can always Google it. Just rub it in that area every single day, 2 or 3 times a day. This is our Zendocrine Detoxification Complex. It is an incredible supplement to help support your kidneys, liver, colon, and your lungs and skin. Those are all of your detox organs. It's an herbal formula that helps to support this detoxification. I take 2 daily with meals. And remember I mentioned earlier about Terrazyme that these two to actually work hand in hand with detoxification? They do. And your gut getting acidic has everything to do with your ability to detox. Now, Zendocrine soft gels are also super helpful in detoxing. Zendocrine soft gels are different than the complex that I just showed you. The soft gels are essential oils in a little capsule. So this is an essential oil blend that also helps to support the liver, kidneys, colon, lungs, and skin. The complex is an herbal formula, and they are both meant to be used together and with Terrazyme too. I take 2 of these daily with my meals. So how can you improve fat digestion? Here's a summary of what we've talked about so far. The other thing that I would say that isn't in this slide is to eat more healthy fat in our diet. Many times our fat digestion is poor because it became sluggish. Over the last 30 or so years, we've been told that low fat is better. The problem is low fat means that your gallbladder can become sluggish. It's just like your muscles. When you don't work them out, they become weak and they don't know how to respond when you go to lift something heavy. They're like, wait, what do I do? But if you're working out and you're obviously working them on a regular basis, when you go to lift something heavy, they know how to respond. You've trained them, right? They know what to do. The same thing with your gallbladder. If you're not eating healthy fat, your gallbladder is getting lazy. It doesn't know what to do whenever you do eat a healthy fat. You've trained it. So increase your healthy fat intake to help your digestion improve. Now, here are some of my favorite digestion remedies, some of the combinations of essential oils that I use for specific digestive issues. This is my favorite combination, these 3, for any kind of upset stomach or nausea. Now, you can use 1 or all 3 or any 2 of them. Side note, I always tell people that when you see multiple oils on a screen for an issue, please know that you can use only 1 of them or all of them. Do the best you can with what you have. So if you don't have 2 of these, start with the one that you do have. You can even make a blend of all 3 if you do have them all. Remember, when you're applying them topically, remember the rule. Put it where it hurts. All 3 of these can be taken internally too, but again, only use the doTERRA brand. I just don't trust the quality of the other brands at all, especially for taking it internally. doTERRA sells veggie capsules that you can get on your next order. I think you get like 200 of them or something for $4. You can put these oils directly into the veggie capsule and take them internally. Now you can also use all 3 of these for the same issues. These soft gels are enteric coated, so they'll go down into your intestinal tract to help further down. Super, super helpful. And the ginger digestive drops and peppermint beadlets are awesome for nausea. One trick for the nausea is actually to swallow the peppermint beadlets whole. They'll pop in your stomach, which is really comforting and soothing. What about those times when you just almost can't control it? There are essential oils that I recommend, and these are them. You can use them topically on your tummy, or you can also take any of them or all of them internally. What about the opposite? I struggled with this for many years. I thought it was normal to go once or twice a week. I know, it's like really bad. As we learned earlier, this can be directly related to poor fat digestion. I believe when you start taking the supplements that I've mentioned, you're going to see a lot less of it happening. But to relieve it in the interim, these 4 are great. Can I make a suggestion on how to use these, especially if you're having a really hard time going? If you take the rosemary, lemon, and digestion, those are the first three, and put them directly over your belly button. This might be a little bit TMI, but if you're having a really hard time having a bowel movement, peppermint can actually help to open your rectum. I tell people to put a couple of drops actually in the toilet before you sit down. That peppermint oil will help your rectum to relax and make it easier for you to go. So rosemary, lemon, and digestion over your belly, peppermint in the toilet. Well, what about gas and bloating? I learned that lavender and ginger are the two big oils for if you have gas pain. These two are phenomenal when applied directly on your stomach topically. Now, if you have cardamom and peppermint, you can take those with them as well. Peppermint has so many digestive benefits. So it's really amazing stuff. But for gas, you would use all four of these if you have them. Again, use the ones you have if you've got them, if you don't have them all. You can also take all of them internally. But I found that when I have gas pains, topically really works great. All right, I know that this has been a ton of information, and I really hope it's been beneficial for you. I really want to encourage you, if you haven't got your own wholesale doTERRA account yet, to get one set up so that you can get into the habit of caring for your digestion. Think about it. I've asked myself this question because I was one of those people with awful digestion for years. If your body doesn't eliminate the nasty things that aren't good for you because your digestion isn't right, where are those nasty things going? Don't you want to start habits of using healthy things that work for your body and with your body so that that doesn't happen to you? That's exactly what I did. And that's exactly why I love to tell others the simple ways to just do that. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face to shine upon you and grant you his peace. Thanks for joining me today. Bye.